So welcome back. This is Somjit Barat again. Wanted to follow up on the earlier um, uh, announcement that I posted. So when you submit any assignment, whether it's the discussion board, or any kind of written assignment, make sure that you follow the APA guidelines, which is um, at a minimum, what I need is 1 inch margins on all sides and double spaced. And there should be in text citation as well as a reference section at the end of your submission. Try to avoid grammatical errors to the best extent possible. I mean, one or two here or there is okay, but if there are way too many, then you might lose points for that. The other point I wanted to emphasize, and again, this is something I have clearly stated in my syllabus, that barely submitting the minimum requirements will not necessarily earn you full points. So you have to really go above and beyond if you above and beyond the minimum requirement if you want to earn high points. So please keep that in mind when you submit your requirements. And if you want some more clarification, I'm more than happy to do that, but you know so that is something you also need to be aware of. So let's talk just a little bit about what is the concept of retailing. For those of you who may or may not be aware, retailing is any transaction that involves a sale by the manufacturer or the seller to the end customer, which means anything that is used by the person who purchased it, right? So that is the end customer or the consumer, right? So that is what retailing is about. In other words, if you're making a purchase with the intention of reselling it to someone, then it is not considered retail. So from that perspective, any store that you go to on a regular basis, the grocery store, the gas station, the restaurant, or Walmart or Target, any of these places, that's a retail transaction, that's a retail store. However, keep in mind though that while these are the names that come to the top of our minds typically when we talk of retailing, there are also hundreds of other stores that do not necessarily have a brick and mortar presence, but still they are considered retail because again, you purchase from those stores as an end consumer. So examples would be Alibaba, Amazon or Walmart.com or Target.com. So any website which sells a product to the end customer, so that is what is also a retail. So the only difference is that they are an e-tailer, right? So that's the industry acronym, industry jargon for electronic retailer, right? Or an internet retailer. So which is becoming more and more popular, and it is runs almost parallel in a lot of cases with the brick and mortar store. So for I'm sure all of you, most of you, if not all of you, make e-commerce purchases, internet purchases, whether it's on your cell phone or whether it's on a computer, all the time, and so do I. So one of the latest developments in e-commerce is called m-commerce, which stands for mobile commerce, right? So in this course, what we are going to look at is the concept of retailing, the different types of retailing based on type of ownership, based on the size of the store, based on the assortment of goods, etc., etc. So the different types of retailing. We are going to talk about the challenges. We are going to talk about the retail strategy. We will talk about the concept of marketing strategy. How is marketing important in our daily lives? We are also going to talk about um, how retail plays or contributes to the GDP, the gross domestic product of the economy, and how does brick and mortar retail compare to the internet retail. So those are some of the things that we are going to talk about. We are also going to talk about the 4 P's of marketing and the 6 P's of retailing. We are going to talk about the retail life cycle, We are going to talk about the retail, the wheel of retailing, and we are also going to talk about the product life cycle. We are going to talk about the different types of products, for example, goods and services, both of which. So it can be goods retailing or it can be a services retailing. So we are going to talk about a whole bunch of things. And again, the reason is that retail constitutes a very, very big part of our everyday lives. I mean, you cannot think of a single day probably when you have not made a purchase, whether it's at a restaurant, whether it's at a fast food, whether it's at the gas station, right? Almost every day we purchase something or the other. So I think it's going to be a very interesting course. I'm looking forward to it, and I think we are both going to learn a lot from each other. But again, I just wanted to sign off by reminding you that it's going to be very intense. So just be on your, on your task. And I think if you follow the instructions that I have mentioned, and if you follow the suggestions that I provided, you will be in good shape. I can guarantee that. All right. So once again, welcome to Marketing 327, and I look forward to having a great summer. All right. Good luck. Thank you.